This week's GG Weekend Watch with myself, as always, Daryl Carter and Andrew Mount, kindly sponsored by SBK. We had quite a good week last week, had a couple of winning naps. Andrew napped Chipstead, also a great ambassador that won. Hakoum also won. Daryl had Aratus. Is that it?
A terrible week.
It's just looking down the list and I thought there's not any.
Yeah, I had a terrible week.
Sorry. I had a winning nap as well with Eileen Dover that you all laughed about me for. But anyway, I Am a Dreamer was placed for me, and Sacred as well was a nice winner, wasn't she? So we had a fairly good week between us, but Daryl does need to try harder. But he'll be better this week, I promise.
Give him a break. He almost died 3 weeks ago.
yeah. Sorry that you were ill, but that's gone now. So I'm not joking. This week's meetings are, of course, from York and Sandown, and then we'll have anything else that the guys fancy as well. I think there is quite a forecast rain around. We're recording this on Friday morning, so tomorrow we are forecasting rain Saturday. So, as always, if selections do change or the guys change their mind, apologies. We will do our best to let you know, and they will update their own personal social media as well as GG's to try and kind of keep you as up to date as we can. We'll cover the ball first, I thought, guys. So that's the 335 from York. We got last year's winner in there. Fajera Prince reopposes. Looked at a few stats for this race, and apparently we want a double figure draw. Favourites have a terrible win rate, if that fact that I found is right. I think one winning favourite from last 22. Not great. I thought it was such a hard race, this. I thought I was going to go back to one of my old favourites, which is Ilaraab. I assume Tom Marquand has chosen to ride Hamish, which slightly worries me. But I am going to stick with Ilaraab, who was obviously highly tried last time out, and it just clearly wasn't up to that, I guess. Dropping grade real plus as well, and it'd be good to get him back on track. So I'm going to go with Ilaraab in the Ebor, but it's such a difficult race. Andrew, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure thing. I wouldn't get too carried away with the winning favourites argument because, I mean, at the moment we're 15-2 the field, so it's so competitive. A bit like the Grand National, you know, if you're betting 10 the field, you're not going to get that many. I'm talking of the favourite at the moment. Live Your Dream still a reserve, I believe. Is that?
I think Mekong's come out this morning.
Right.
So I think he might have just got in.
Yeah, because, well, Live Your Dream is certainly one that I like. Ran in a really good handicap at Newmarket last time, beating another Godolphin inmate, Side Bin Sarour's Global Storm into second. Now, the winner and the runner-up both came from well off the pace. You look at the other horses in that race that were ridden patiently. They've a lot of them have run well since. You go back down to the 10th place, Prince Alex, he's won since. The 11th, Volcanic Sky. A horse really hard to win with. Even he managed to get his head in front next time. So I think you can upgrade the performances of both Live Your Dream and Global Storm there. And I was looking at the prices, I think, last night and thinking, well, why is Global Storm 20-1 or thereabouts? It just seemed to be a little bit big. So I'm going to side with him. I also like Humanitarian for the Gosden Yard. He's got the hood on, which is a very positive angle for any progeny by this particular sire and also for the yard. So I was looking at three at this stage: Live Your Dream, Global Storm, and Humanitarian. Global Storm's the biggest price, I think, so I'll side with him if you want just one.
Okay, yeah, it's that kind of race, isn't it? You could take three easily.
Also, I'll just throw in one other thing as well. There doesn't seem to be an awful amount of pace in there either. And last year, the pace held up. The 25-1 runner-up beaten half 11th, very nearly made all. And the winner was also up there throughout. So do just keep an eye on that as well if you're looking for an exaggerated hold-up horse. Might not be run to suit.
Okay. Daryl?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Andy said there. I was looking at Humanitarian as well. John Gosden's got a 40% stroke rate with runners after 300 days off the track, 20 from 50. And the hood's an interesting addition for him. He can be a little bit keen early on. Now, we haven't seen Humanitarian since September last year when he beat a good horse in Dubai Future, who's now £10 higher in the handicap since a listed group placed horse. Prior to that, 2019, I know we're going back a bit, it's before his gelding operation, he was seventh at Ascot, which was a bit of a poor run. But prior to that, he was seventh in the Derby. He was staying on really strongly that day over a mile 4. I thought he's a horse that's always cried out for a bit of a trip. The ground will be key to his chances, I think. I think he does want it quick ground. Now, there's not tons of rain around tomorrow. but there is small bits enough to probably to take the sting out of the ground. I would have thought. I'm going to hold off for a selection until I know how much rain has fallen. Hamish has been back this week. Like, defeat is out of the question. Off the back of a 428-day layoff. William Haggard's again. He's not got a bad stroke rate after 300 odd days off, 26%. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the 428-day layoff, especially in a contest like this. I think he's going to be A1. So, but I thought they said previously that all of his best form has come on softer surface. So he's not going to want it too lightning quick. One at a big price I'm going to back, because the ground shouldn't be too much of an issue, is Alounak for Andrew Bolden. A good fourth last time, a Goodwood in the Glorious in the Queen's Plate. Got no run, didn't have any sort of time to pick up. I think this horse really likes a nice long home straight. Haydock is sort of the only time he's had it away from Ascot this season, and he bolted up, beating Win O'Clock off a mark of 102. He's off 108 here, and I think 108 is probably fine, because the weights are quite compressed in this race. I think there's a stone between about 24 runners or 22 runners. I think there's more to come from Alounak. I went through quite a bit of his back form, and he was a good fifth over in a Breeders' Cup in a Grade 1 back in 2019. He does shape like he could get this trip. And the thing I like about him is he's got a bit of a turn of foot, where a lot of these horses over this sort of trip are over this trip because they're sort of plodders, and they stay on. Whereas I like the way Alounak travels for a race. It gives me confidence he's going to get this trip. And I like the smart turn of foot he showed at Haydock when he just won going away. That was a career best effort. So I thought he was well worth another chance. I didn't think the ground was too much of a concern. I think he's going to be ridden quite handily from stall 10. I thought there were a good few positives for Alounak at 20-1, and then I can see him going off perhaps to the Melbourne Cup and doing a bit of globe trotting. He's that type of horse, I think. Alounak is the one I'm going to come down on for now, but there are a few on the short list, but weather permitting tomorrow, whether I chuck another one alongside Alounak.
Yeah, okay. That's absolutely fine. Makes good sense. We'll be keeping an eye on the weather. We go back now to the first race at York, which is the 150, Group 3 over the extended mile. That is their first race on the card. Real World has really upped the form, hasn't he, since going on to the turf 2 from 2 now, and I've had some cheek pieces put on as well. Talking of horses with a good turn of 40, definitely showed a fair bit of that at Newbury last time. And Daryl, the way he won, last time, you'd hope he literally could be anything.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, he tugged the arms off Marco Gianni for much of that race. He was boxed in. D-Rab and Martin Hartley did everything they could to try and hold him in against that rail for as long as possible. D-Rab got first run on him, and he took a split second to warm up, and then the way he picked him up in the final furlong was really, really impressive, I thought. There weren't mugs in behind as well. Solid Stones come out and placed next time behind Meg Allen. Salisbury all finished fourth, close up, beating 1 1/4 lengths in a Group 3. Fox Towers come out, gone very, very close in a Group 3 next time at Goodwood, beating half a length, finishing third. This is a natural step up from listed company to Group 3. I think he's going to be a lot better than these, to be honest. I think just with natural progression, he's going to be very, very hard to beat at the top of the market. My Oberon, disappointed. I was a little bit disappointed with the run behind Love. I mean, it looks good on paper beating 3 lengths by Love, but that race has not really worked out at all. I think Love's going backwards a bit this season, so I think he might have been a little bit flattered there. Thought Brunch might be the one to outrun his odds at a big price. He's £13 better off, I think, with Real World for the 8-length defeat in the Royal Hunt Cup, and he got no run that day, so he's probably a bit better than the 8-length defeat suggested. He won well, finishing strongly at Pontefract last time, beating Ross Colan, who's a real solid horse. I can't see anything beating Real World, if I'm being honest. I'm just trying to think of one. I'm just trying to think of, without market or perhaps something that could outrun their odds. But Real World, I mean, I think he's a Group 1 horse in waiting, really.
Yeah, I like Real World too. You could have Real World to beat Brunch maybe or something like that. Andrew?
Yeah, make it sort of 2.5 votes for Real World. Again, he was pulled out of Haydock, wasn't he, when we discussed him previously because of the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the weather forecast, the site I use is basically saying the rain's not going to hit until 1 o'clock. and then it's not going to get heavy until around about 4 o'clock. So this first race, it might, and if they don't water in expectation of rain and then it doesn't arrive, it could be rattling quick. So Real World has everything in his favour pretty much. The one I like for without the favourite or for the forecast is Bell Rock for the Andrew Balding yard. Now, he's only ever won on his seasonal debut. I think he's 3 from 3 first time out in his career. But he has gone well fresh after a mid-season break before. Last year, he'd had 3 months off before turning up in the Cambridge show, and he's finished 3rd of 27. Now, we haven't seen him since the middle of June, Royal Ascot. That's 66 days, getting on for 10 weeks, so he should be nice and fresh here. He ran in the Hunt Cup last time behind Real World, raced on the far side, finished last of that group, got beat 26 lengths by the winner. But I think he'll be a lot closer this time. So I think Bell Rock, without the favourite, would be my vote in the race.
Okay, but we all do like the favourite, so if you just want to back a winner and you don't mind the price, that's probably the way to go. The 225 Melrose Long Distance Heritage Handicap. Absolutely love Dhushan again. A bit boring, but he was just too keen last time out, but has looked very good, I thought, before that. I'm more than sure he's a much better horse than a marker 95, so looking forward to seeing Dhushan go in that 225. Andrew, would you like to start?
Yeah, bit of a minefield, like a lot of the races on Saturday. But there's one horse here I really like, and that's True Courage. I've been really impressed with him. He did really well to win from off the pace at Ripon, 3 runs back. Admittedly, only in a Class 6 contest. He stepped up to Class 5 level. And at Leicester, and again, he's come from off the pace, not always easy to do on the round course there, particularly in small fields. He's then taken another step forward running here at York. Again, we're only talking Yarmouth, only talking fairly sort of low grade stuff. But my God, you could call him the winner from a long way out. And he was very, very impressive, won with a ton in hand. He's gone up £8 for that. You could argue that's still on the lenient side. And Michael Bell's True Courage, 14 to 1 is the price I've seen.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, with these races in these big handicaps? You're seeing horses stepping up into a much better grade, but if they're beating what's put in front of them so readily, you'd assume they have to be much better than their mark.
Yeah, and there's compensation in the price. You're not being asked to take 7 to 2 or 4 to 1. You're looking at a good each way price.
Yeah, exactly. I think I have about 14 to 1 for True Courage. So let's hope he stays at that for Andrew. And Daryl?
Yeah, this is probably my best bet of the day, I think, in this race. Aidan O'Brien's won a King of the Castle. I think this horse is improving quite rapidly with each run. Now, he dropped back into maiden company last time at Limerick, just as a bit of a confidence booster, I guess. He bolted up very, very easily, 4 to 9 on. Handicappers put him up a couple of pounds for that. But prior to that, at Down Royal, he chased home Iowa, a stablemate. Now, he got absolutely no run. He was blocked off, and he's quite a big horse. He had to switch wide around the field, and he came steaming with a late charge. That was over 1.5 miles. Iowa was running off a mark of 79 there. Iowa is now rated £19 higher on 98. The third Bear Story was off 88. He's now £12 higher, rated 100. The fourth is yet to run. The fifth one next time is £4 higher. The sixth one next time out is £5 higher. The seventh was just touched off in a listed race next time, and it's £6 higher. And he was given weight to all of them, bar the last mentioned, including £12 to the winner. Like I say, he stopped in his run, had to make his challenge wide. He came steaming home. Step up and trip's definitely going to suit him. He's only £5 higher here for the mark of 96. He's improving the cheek pieces of clearly out. Ryan's gone to the Curragh, so that's why William Buick's on, but that's no bad replacement in my mind. I don't think he won't mind a bit of rain either. If you go back to some of his form late last year, he was chasing home the likes of Roman Empire over a mile over trip too short. He was only beaten 2 lengths there. Roman Empire's rated 109. His form is littered with 100-plus rated horses. At Leopardstown,
got close to the Mediterranean, that of course ran well at York.
And if you go back and watch that race against the Mediterranean, he was bumped at the start, and he was at the rear of the field. And Wayne Lordham took him right round the outside of the whole field to take the lead. And he went about 7, 8, 9 lengths clear of the field. And they only just caught him late on. But as they passed him, he stuck on really gamely at the finish.
Yeah.
obviously the Mediterranean's just finished runner-up in the Great Vulture earlier in the week. Mediterranean's rated 109. He's probably going to go up a bit more for his performance earlier this week.
Yeah.
He's off a mark of 96. I think he's got a massive chance. Zayden's only runner of the day. He's probably come over earlier in the week, but been left here. So yeah, I think at the prices, I think the best price is tens. I think that's a cracking each way bet.
Yeah.
I think he's going to improve for the step up and trip. I think he's much better than this field. I think he's got a belting chance. But I've been quite confident with a few naps in the last couple of weeks, and they've not really come off. So I'm trying to keep calm with this one. So, but yeah, King of the Castle being the nap of the day.
Well, I prefer Dhushan, but I half hope King of the Castle wins because we'll do a GG. You know the song? Must be the reason why I'm king of the castle. We can literally do like a fun naps video with you doing some kind of cheer, and we can have that song in the background, which will be good. I've already thought about it, so we can do that. Andrew, please tell me that's your pick as well, and we can play the song for both of you.
No, because I've already given you my pick, True Courage.
Oh, of course you have. Oh, God, it's my birthday tomorrow, guys, so my brain's just gone.
Yeah, all you're thinking about is going out.
Yeah, I got excited about songs and all sorts. Okay, let's move on before the head falls off. 3 o'clock, please. City of York Stakes Group 2 contest. Daryl, do you want to start?
Yeah, 2 horses I've got a lot of time for at the top of this market. Space Blues. Space Blues is always a horse. I had a massive bet on him when he ran off a mark of 93 here at York a couple of years ago, and he landed in really good style. He's a top class horse. I feel like he's working his way back into a bit of form. Thought he was quite eye catching at Goodwood last time. In the Lennox, he was drawn in stall 12, widest of all. Came with a late rattle. I think that ground would have been softer than ideal for him. I think back on faster ground. I think he's basically a Group 1 winner without a penalty in this race, well, he is a Group 1 winner without a penalty in this race.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very, very hard to beat. I think this is going to be quite tactical, though. So I'm not entirely sure. In terms of tactical, I mean between Primo Bacchio and Space Blues. I wonder who's going to go first, if that makes sense, because Primo Bacchio is going to be held up. I wonder if they're going to try.
Safe Voyage normally makes it, doesn't he?
Yeah, Safe Voyage would normally make the run. Lord of Lodge would try and make the running, but I mean, when push comes to shove, I wonder if Tom Marquand is just going to sit on Space Blues and try and get first run on him, if that makes sense. So I think it's going to be quite tactical because I think there's a lot in favour of Primo Bacchio as well. The ground, the trip, everything is in her favour. If she can't show how good she is back at this track, under these conditions, then the followers just need to wash their hands with her, really. 3-year-old's got a fantastic record as well in this race. But it's very difficult. I'm probably not going to have a bet in the race. I'm probably just going to watch it and enjoy it. But for a selection, I would have to say Space Blues, given the sheer depth to his form. So, and I think he's ready to strike. So, Space Blues.
This was one of them where, as I often do, I say I swerve one and don't have a selection because I just kept thinking, as you say, Primo Bacchio, she's been unlucky probably, hasn't she, in better races the last couple of times, but you can't keep making excuses for horses all the time.
And that's the problem, when you're making excuses for such a young horse, maybe she's just not good enough, but there will be no excuses here today. I mean, I thought Andrea gave her an awful ride, really, Deauville, I'll be honest with you, but
let's hope Tom's better.
Yeah, but there will be no excuse for everything's in her favour. So, of course, she's up against Space Blues. I mean, if she finished half a length off Space Blues, you'd say it was a very good run, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, cracking race. We've got our old friends Space Blues and Safe Voyage, who regularly take each other on. I mean, Safe Voyage won this last year as a 7-year-old, breaking a run of 5 consecutive winning 3-year-olds. We should have loads of pace, as you've mentioned. Highfield Princess has one way of winning, so does Lord of the Lodge. Pogo can go from the front as well. Safe Voyage actually made all when winning this last year. And the one I'm going to throw a few quid at each way, biggest price I've seen is 50 to 1, is 5,000 to 1 for Andrew Balding. Now, only third at Haydock last time, but raced very keenly. Small field, race wasn't run to suit. Forget that Royal Ascot run. And I mean, as a juvenile, he did peak at this time of year. He sort of ran 4 times in August and September, second, first, and second. And you go back to October of last year, he ran in the Dewhurst behind St Mark's Basilica, and only got beaten 4 and a bit lengths. Now you could argue that he hasn't trained on, but those 2 runs. I mean, he's rocked up at Royal Ascot for his debut, and run poorly on the wrong side of the track, and then he's got that sort of small field race not run to suit. So on the best of his juvenile form, he's not a 50-1 shot. If you say he's going to be best coming late off a strong pace,
yeah, he was 9-4 last time.
Yeah, he's going to get that. So. I mean, when you're looking at a race like this, we're thinking, I wanted to be on the Lord of the Lodge the next time he ran because he got involved in a duel for the early pace and a 3-runner affair at Thirsk, which was just ridiculous. And again, Highfield Prince is going to get taken on. So you've got sort of horses, the 3 regular front runners priced at 14s, 25s and 33-1. You say, well, they're probably going to drop out the back of the telly after getting involved in a pace war. That's the hope and the expectation. So 5,000-1, you're going to get a horse coming through off the back of the pace to pick up the pieces. It could well be him. I mean, I'll settle for third at this stage, but who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, at 50s, we'll take a third. Okay, 5,000-1 then for Andrew, but it is a bit of a tricky one. Anything else in any of the other races at York that we've not got scheduled, either of you?
Just in the 4:45, a couple of horses, Strait of Hormuz, did best of those to come from off the pace when a close-up 14-1 third of 20 in the John Smith's Cup over course and distance. He's got a really good record left-handed, very rarely out there the first 2 or 3. And on good or faster going, he's 2 from 2 left-handed. So if the rain stays away, he could go well. And in the same race, Montatha was unsuited to making the running at Doncaster last time. I mean, Doncaster's round course, each front runner's alive. 7-4 favourite in a field of 5, doesn't normally make the running. And Dana O'Neill had a brain freeze and decided to make it. So, Strait of Hormuz, Montatha. And in the 5:20, Kevin Ryan puts blinkers on Ben McDewey, who this one had Winter Power a place behind him when finishing 5th in a listed race at this meeting last year. It's all downhill since, but we've seen the yard do really well with first-time headgear runners. Just another bottle of Cause winning the Great St Wilfrid in this headgear, first-time blinkers. So I thought at 28-1, Ben McDewey in the 5:20 might just be able to blast off down the middle and give us a run for our money.
Yeah, I think about 28-1 at the moment in that 5:20, and the 2 that Andrew mentioned in the 4:45, they're about 10s and 12s respectively. So all good each way prices for all of those. Daryl, anything for you? Any of the others?
Yeah, same 2 races. 4:45. Migration. They could have ran earlier in the week off a mark of 95. They've decided to come here anyway on Saturday and run off 103. The way, you can't help but be impressed with the way he went past that field at Goodwood. I know it was just softer conditions, but he has handled quicker going before, and any sort of rain will be in his favour, I guess. Yeah, the 5:20, in the 5:20, I thought Atalis Bay, I think, is off a steep mark of 103, but back here at York, I thought I had a massive chance. I think this is another horse that could be going into group company later this year or next year perhaps, but Stefano Churchy's booked on for this apprentice handicap. It's a good booking by Marco Botti, and I think Atalis Bay has got a massive chance in the 5:20.
Okay, he's top rated in there. I think again another one at the moment, time of recording, is about 6-1 Atalis Bay for that final race. We move on to Sandown then, a couple of races from there. The 2:05, the Group 3 Solario Stakes over 7 furlongs. We've got a fairly short price favourite for Her Majesty the Queen in Reach for the Moon. Do you want to start us in this, please, Daryl?
Yeah, favourite wins. Let's move on.
Quite simple.
Well, yeah, I mean, destroyed Harrow at Newbury last time. He came out and won a very good race at York yesterday. Second in the Chesham, decent form there. Max Sala was well behind. Sweeping's won since. And the debut form at Yarmouth as well with New Science has worked out really well. Some decent horses in behind. So I just could not see for any reason why I'd want to take on Reach for the Moon. But I also don't really want to back him because Frankie Dettori's on.
Well, as you say, beat Harrow easily, and then of course Harrow's come out and franked that. So very good. Andrew?
I'm with you. I'm going for full-on S Club, Reach Out for the Moon.
Actually, it's the stars, but you close.
Yeah, I put this one up as a bet at Royal Ascot on his second career outing. Yeah. That debut run behind New Science at Yarmouth was a fantastic one. I mean, it was hard to come from off the pace that day. and he was very green, blew the start, and stumbled as well, something that was missed by the Racing Post close-up writer.
Right.
And I ended up betting him win only, not each way, stupidly, when he's got chinned half a length at Royal Ascot. He's duly got off the mark next time out in impressive fashion. And I'm staring at the prices of 6 to 4 on. I'm thinking that's probably quite big, and I can see him going off at 2 to 1 on or 9 to 4 on. So I was very strong and reached for the moon. The only danger with Sandown is you're like, which kind of Sandown are we dealing with on the round course? Are we dealing with one of those meetings where everything wins prominent round the inside?
Yeah.
Or have we got that like we had in July, the Day Anderleap one, that everything was winning wide round the outside and they're avoiding the inside rail like the plague? So generally with Sandown, you want to let a race or two go before you get involved, or it's a meeting you want to play on day 2 of a 2-day meeting. We've also got Sandown on Sunday in the Sunday series, so reach for the moon, but not a bad horse to put if you fancy other short ones. Real World, I certainly wouldn't put you off here. Real World and Reach for the Moon in a win double.
Yeah, I backed Papa Cocktail at York when I'm pretty sure it was Jack Mitchell the other day. Don't quote me in case it wasn't, but basically couldn't have got into any more trouble, and I was absolutely furious. Papa Cocktail finished just behind Reach for the Moon on that debut run. I remember it. I really thought Papa Cocktail would win a big race at York and got an absolute stinker of a ride.
Good. Sorry, quick couple of mentions for. I thought Cresta might have been flattered at Leicester because he came down the middle of the track where stupidly the jockeys all wanted to race down the stand sides. And rerouting was quite interesting, the Irish Raider, because when he won at Gowran Park on his debut at 33 to 1, every winner was prominent up the inside from low draws, and he's come round the outer from something like stall 19. So that was a run you could upgrade. Whether that makes him good enough to be Reach for the Moon, I don't know, but I would certainly take rerouting as a potential without the favourite bet or forecast selection if you want one at a bigger price.
Okay. Yeah, favourite all round then, and maybe options elsewhere as regards without the favourite. The 240 at Sandown, we got last year's winner, Mamora, goes again for the Crisfords. We all put up Welliat, didn't we? Really fancied him because of the rain softened conditions, which worked out perfectly well. Obviously looking to have a sounder surface at the moment at Sandown. I'm going to put up Potapova, I think, again. I'm hoping that the fact that someone like I thought she was good enough last time out after those first 2 annihilations to put her into group company, whether she just got a bit stuck in the mud, obviously a lightly raced horse as well. So, and she was a bit too keen as well last time. So she needs to learn to settle and she'll be able to show what she's made of. So I think I'm going to stick with Potapova in that 240, but again, difficult races, good horses. Andrew, do you want to start? What do we think about? I know we all fancied Welliak on that soft ground. Is he going to be completely different if the ground is much firmer?
Yeah, it just says going ? Next to his name on my card for this race. And if we get unexpected rain and it's good to soft or softer, I could quite happily side with him, but probably not with the current weather forecast. Indigo Girl, the favourite, has got the hood on for. I mean, all Debawis in hoods show a good profit if you back them blind. Not necessarily the first time hood, but that's a sort of positive stat. But the interesting one for me was Muamor for Michael Bell. Now, this one ran real eye-catching races against draw biases at Newmarket last back end, particularly in the Jersey Lily, that really good fillies nursery. Finishing 4th of 16. The first 3 were drawn sort of 16, 13, 15 that day. She's won the race down the centre of the track from her low draw in stall 4. Now, since then, she's then gone back to Newmarket, dropped back to 6 furlongs, which didn't suit. Heavy ground didn't suit. She's still run well from a poor draw, finishing second by a neck. And then this season, so she won at Carlisle in June on Good to Firm. And then bombed out last time on soft ground. Don't even know why she was running on it. But the owners have had a bit of a split with Rafe Beckett. We saw Ammo Racing's Prince Alex win on debut for Michael Bell after leaving Beckett at Glorious Goodwood. So if Muamor actually gets to the track, then and the ground is in her favour, I think she could take some beating here. She's probably going to be a big price. And Michael Bell's only had, I think, 4 horses make the switch from Rafe Beckett. 2 of them won at the first time of asking. Another one was second at a big price. So 12 to 1, 14 to 1 thereabouts, Muamor for me.
Yeah, I got 12 to 1 as well for Muamor. Daryl?
Well, if if Indigo Girl can't win this, I suspect she'll be out of the John Gosden yard. This is a terrible race. I mean, Aurea's second favourite in this. And we were saying before when she won her listed race at Sandown last time how bad that race was. And she went off 10-3 for that. She's only 7-1 for this behind Indigo Girl. I can't believe Indigo Girl is not a shorter price. She's well clear on ratings, or near enough well clear, other than Saffron Beach. I thought it was a good return run at Ascot last time behind Dream Loper. She just finished under her hands and heels ride. She did go off 11-8 favourite for that, though. But I don't know why. She can be a bit keen, but I don't. The slight concern for me is the fact that she's 7-2. Honestly, I thought she should be about 11-4 shot for this. So that does worry me slightly. Sometimes things can be too good to be true, can't they? And
she can be too keen as well, can't she? That's another slide.
Well, she can, but she was keen. She was slowly away and then very keen in the Fillies Mile, and she finished second. Pretty gorgeous. Had Mother Earth behind her, and she was better than a bare result on the undulations of Newmarket, which she didn't really handle there. Time before that at Doncaster, when she beat Dubai Fountain, she absolutely hacked up. Look at the horses in behind: Star of Emirati, Lilac Road, Zabel Queen, Dubai Fountain. There ain't none of them in here. These are all exposed, other than Potapova. These are pretty much exposed to the 9. Villa de Grace is one of the interesting ones, running behind Alcohol Free at Newbury and then bombing out at York next time in listed company. She could still have a bit more to offer, but Potapova is probably the danger. She could obviously be anything, but like I said before, she hasn't beaten nothing yet, and nothing's come out and won. So, I mean, it's got to be. Sorry, I don't want to back. Honestly, I don't want to. I don't want to back Frankie Dettori either, because he wound me up during the week on Sir Lucan, coming down the outside and sitting there on the bridle and then nudging back into the bridle.
You just said the biggest danger is Potapova, so just like her, and then we can sell.
No, I'm not. No, because I can't back a horse that's had no next time out winners come from its 2 races and it's beaten nothing. Indigo Girl should be winning this, but the price is a concern. Indigo Girl.
Okay. So Indigo Girl, madly for Daryl, Potapova for me, and me and more for Andrew. I think that's it for our scheduled races. Sandown, anything for either of you in any of the other races, please?
Yeah, I've got one in the 130 called Implore, trained by the Gosdens, 3-1 second favourite at the time of recording. Ran a really good race on his debut, finishing 4th to Native Trail and Royal Patronage at Sandown. Of this course distance. Was still green next time out, and second at Donny, and then made the running, set it up for the close at Ascot. Now, last time he's gone to Beverley, first time cheap pieces. Beverley that day was massively favouring wide runners, horses who came around the outside, under patient rides. And he's made all against the bias in the first time cheap pieces. I was hugely impressed with that. I think people will be a bit sniffy about it because it's only Beverley form, but at least that's a stiff right-handed track like Haydock. So I implore you to back Implore in the 130.
And if Frankie gives it a bad ride, Daryl will implode. Anything else for you at Sandown, Daryl?
Yeah. I very much agree with Andrew on Implore. I was getting wound up going through this car because Frankie Dettori is riding all the fancied horses that I've got this week. Implore, totally agree. I think that race at Beverley as well, I think that was a very good race. I think that's going to work out pretty well. I thought this was much weaker. So Implore would definitely be on my list as well. In the 3:15, this is a competitive little race, little handicap, but this Poet of Life could be anything, but he's too short of the market for me, and Frankie's on. Down the list, Sky Defender is a double-figure price. Sky Defender is running himself back into form. At Newmarket last time, he did remarkably well to finish as close as he did, given he was shut out and was short of room, had to drop to the rear of the field, and then stayed on strongly up the stiff finish at Newmarket. That was a run, step right back in the right direction. The time before at Goodwood, behind Migration, he came right over to the far side, lost plenty of ground in doing so, and he was only beaten 4 lengths. He's dropped down to a mark of 97. He's got a massive chance in this field at a double-figure price. Obviously, the unexposed Poet of Life is going to be very popular, but I think Sky Defender can probably get on the front end here at Sandown and go well. Anything else? 4:15. I've got to cut these down.
Frankie.
No, Oisin. I thought Nebulosa was the one to be on in the 4:15. This horse has been on my radar for quite some time. Again, Goodwood caught the eye massively last time. I think this track suits. Ground should be fine. So Nebulosa in the 4:15.
That is a horrible race, that 4:15. There's like 5 runners and next to nothing separating them. Yeah, so I think Nebulosa currently joint favourite at about 2-1, and Sky Defender in that earlier race that Daryl mentioned, I think is about 12-1. So good each way value. That's the scheduled meetings done, dusted. Anything from anywhere else on Saturday?
Yeah, just 2 very quick ones. In the 8 o'clock at Chelmsford, Jumeirah Bay is best when going left-handed. And although Chelmsford doesn't normally favour his come-from-behind style, there's plenty of pace in this race. It could be set up nicely. And I'm going to Killarney for the 250.
What?
I've not been on the wacky.
Been busy.
I've not been on the wacky backy, but I'm going for Happy Jacky. Now, Happy Jacky's got a very strong seasonal pattern to his form. He does really well in August and September. 4 runs in these months: 3rd, 1st, and 1st. Got a good course record, and he was an eye catcher a couple of runs ago. So this is his time of year. Happy Jacky in the 250 at Killarney.
I'm trying to find a price. I haven't got one of you.
No, I haven't seen one yet.
No, okay. Anything anywhere else for you, please, Daryl?
No.
Not anything at Killarney?
Absolutely not. No, I only go over to Ireland when there's a good thing. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. I've put up loads of horses.
You have put up lots of horses. Now, this is probably forecast price, so it could be completely wrong, Andrew, but I found 25-1.
Yeah, I think more like 7-2 would be a realistic price, but I'll take 16s now.
What, for Happy Jacky?
Yeah, 25s would be handy.
That's what I found forecast.
Oh, fantastic!
Obviously, if it goes off 7-2, don't all shout at me. I'm just telling you what's on the screen. Okay, super. That's it. Then we've got loads of other selections there as well, and loads from lots of other meetings. Naps, please.
I'm going Happy Jacky.
Are you napping at Killarney?
Oh. I'm going to go King of the Castle, 225 at York.
You've got to. And I am going in the e-ball because I have been on the wacky backy clearly. Ilaraab is going to be my nap in the e-ball, so fingers crossed. That's it then. They're the naps. Don't forget, as I said earlier, to please check out the guys' updated social media as always. If the rain does or doesn't change the ground either way massively, selections may and will probably change. So please do check out Daryl Carter as named on Twitter, and Andrew Mountish Trend Horses, and GG as well. So they're social media, GG.CO.UK, and the website, same name. Race cards are on there. There'll be more tips and stats as well from the guys. So thanks as always for watching. I hope we give you some winners, and I hope you have some of your own as well.
And we don't condone selling or smoking wacky backy.